So welcome. You're going to notice today I don't have the gimbal. It just did all kinds of dances before I started, so I put it in my pocket and we will be going a little bit up and down like this. So I walked down by the shore this morning, here down below the road, and then I had a little extra time before the sun would come out, so I figured I'd scamper up here. See all the beehives waiting patiently for the flowers to bloom. Won't be too long. And so we're here at the southern cliffs of Mount Arbel. We haven't been so often this far because usually the time is up when we get this far. I love the way these are all basalt stone seats, and like a table for a group, for a family to sit around, have a picnic. It's amazing all around the world what the care that's taken of public spaces and nature, national parks. All these type of features are beautiful because they make it easy for people to get out and enjoy a place. In a certain sense, that's what everybody is doing, right? Preparing a home. And the little child is born and has a place to sleep. I wonder what can we find in here? Can we find the sunrise? These are holes in this rock. I don't think the sun is aligned for us, is it? It didn't work. At least I couldn't get down flat enough to get it to work. So we have Tiberias. And yesterday we were over there, yesterday morning. Let me show you exactly. Mount Hermon is pretty clear for my eyes. There's the Mount of Beatitudes in the center, that big piece of plastic there relatively close to the water in the center. Then over to the right there's another piece. And then the same distance over is Capernaum, the edge of the water. And that's where we were yesterday morning. And then there we have Mount Hermon looming high with its snow-capped slopes. And the sun is reflecting on them. Maybe when the sun gets a little higher, and we'll still be up high here for a few minutes, we can get another glimpse of them. So here we're heading up. We're going to climb a little bit to get up to our normal path level. Normally when we have been here, this has been very high vegetation, and now it's just starting over. Nature keeps starting over, like we do. We keep starting over. Also in the spiritual life, it's important to be able to keep starting. Look at this, when those gates are closed in, there's a little passageway for hikers. This is just another one of those details that people think about. And this is like a grid passageway so the cattle can't come through. And they're safe in their bounds. And then here we're heading over. Do you remember all those tall flowers that came out at the beginning of fall? Look at them now. Hey, it looks like they're connected to these leaves. Is that possible? Yeah. So these leaves, are they the same or is it just coincidence? Yeah, I guess these leaves must be coming from, this must be the same plant. Look at that flower. You remember how good it was way back in the day? And this part of its cycle is also important. The part of the life cycle that involves facial creases and lack of color, aging. It's part of the process, a glorious part of the process. And today we might be very emotionally touched when we read about Samuel. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. And so we might no longer be a verdant green, but we might be a pale, aging, leafless reality to the human eye. And so we can also be touched in that purity of soul of Samuel. He says, here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. What an amazing soul in a young person. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. And the story is so touching because Eli, let's say he's more the grandparent age, and young Sam comes and says, hey, you call me. Samuel, Samuel, here I am, Lord, I come to... Did you call me? What can I do for you? No, I didn't call you. How important it is, like John the Baptist, no, it's not me. It's the Lord. After 3 times Eli wakes up to that, it's the Lord. He wasn't used to hearing God's voice for a while. He was tuned out. Materialism tunes us out. Our cares and our... this stalks have to be coming from this verdant green. So this verdant green leaves were not here when we saw these stalks. This is new growth, the new generation coming. And here are our stalks, gone past maturity. The seed has been spread. Look at them all. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. The young person coming to do the will in the verdant moment of life, even before the blossoming, and the mature people after the blossoming, after the fruit, after the harvest, continuing, here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. This is one of the most solid building blocks of the spiritual life, because we know our place. Somebody else has a marvelous design over our lives. What a treasure. And then there's a very different plant here. Look at this one, there are lots of them. And we're always near different people, different folks, different strokes, different tastes. And yet everyone can come and say, here I am, Lord. And this late bloomer, it's going to be the last one to bloom as far as we observe this whole spring and summer. This thorn. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. That's an incredibly profound orientation. That's more important to human life than the north is in the compass. That is absolutely rock solid spirituality. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. Okay, the doctor doesn't have good news for me, but it's great news because it's my opportunity to make a new thrust forward. Here I am, Lord, to come to do your will. I don't like it, Lord. It's hard for me. I'm leaving lots of things behind. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. I'm fascinated by this. So sometimes we came this far or we started from this point up, so we started earlier this morning. Here we have our carob tree, from whence carat gold actually, because the seeds are so constant in their weight that they become the standard in ancient times for measuring gold. And the carobs were the food of the prodigal son as well. So this tree was very well known. It's amazing how nature and culture blend with the human mind. The human mind has discovered We have discovered our identity many times as we ponder nature. We're seeing echoes and reflections of who we are. So I'm using that line from the Psalm, but it's a line that Samuel uses. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. What a beautiful thing, because Samuel is the Lord listened. Shomea is I hear. The Lord heard my prayer. And Hannah called her little boy Samuel because the Lord heard her prayer. But Samuel is also one who's always listening. Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. I'm in a disposition to hear what you want, Lord. I'm not just coming to tell you what I want. My will is totally aligned with yours, Lord. Today's gospel would be good to read at sunset, because it's a sunset story. But we're at sunrise, so that's when we're reading it. And Jesus is over there in Capernaum. He's actually in Peter's house. And you remember yesterday we saw the church, if you want to go back to afterwards and check it out. In the Franciscan part of the site where that church is built is understood archaeologically with pretty good reason to be built on Peter's house. And there it is right here, right now in the center of the screen. You see that little white spot? That white spot is the Orthodox Church that we also featured very strongly yesterday. And rejoice with the Orthodox who are celebrating Christmas. And just over from there, we can't really see it now because of the basalt colors which dominate there in the Franciscan side, also limestone. And there's Peter's house. And this is where this story happens. So Jesus goes into Peter's house. Just imagine that very possibility that the Word of God made flesh can come into my house. Doesn't that make you think? And actually, Jesus makes it very easy for us, because he says, when you give a cup of water to the least of these, you give it to me. So in a certain sense then, every person, even from Genesis, is in the image and likeness of God. So we do anything for any person, any act of kindness. And it's doing it for God. The famous rule of the Benedictine order, there we have a thistle, a different plant coming, says, receive every visitor, everyone who knocks on the door, every stranger, as Jesus himself. So Jesus goes into Peter's house, and Peter's mother-in-law is sick. She has a fever. How many people today have fevers? And I'm sure the family is really trying to take care of her. And Peter, in his way, will say to Jesus, Jesus, look, my mother-in-law is feeling bad. She's been sick now for a while. She has a bad fever. And Jesus heals her. He approached her, grasped her hand, and helped her up. How beautiful so many details of charity blossom, bloom, and bring color to a family's life. It's not good for us to be alone. We need our moments of solitude. We have 2 priests right now who are doing a silent retreat for 8 days here in Magla. We need times of solitude. Each day we have time for prayer. 3 or 4 hours of personal, prayerful solitude. We need that. But we're also meant to be with others, serving kindly, patiently. That's a Hereford there. We got lots of those in County Clare. Oops, sorry about that. I'm lacking the gimbal, so I had that little slippage there. They're obviously sheltering behind that bush there. It's usually warmer behind a bush, at least from my memory. So the fever left her and she got up and started serving. Isn't that amazing? She wasn't indulging in self-pity. She said, here I am. I'm ready to serve as well. Here I am. Here I am. I come to do your will. Here I am. My talents and my health is to serve others.